Welcome into the Oh Health Yeah podcast, brought to you by Healthy is Wellness. As you all know, our mission is to empower you to take control of your health and elicit a little bit of curiosity in your life when it comes to the world of wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have loved ones or friends that you think would benefit from this, share it with them. Let's get this thing going. Hi, Melanie. How are you?
Great, Gus. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Thank you very much for hopping on here with me today. What I'll
Yeah.
do is I'll walk you through the Healthy is Wellness program, kind of our beliefs and what we believe as a business. And then the main emphasis on this call is to get you to one actionable item you can deploy in your life to help you begin taking control of your health, whatever that looks like for you. We know that that's different for every single person in the world, but our emphasis behind the business side of things is how can we actually empower you to take control in the world of wellness when the world of wellness seems so vast and so like, what am I even supposed to do? What we try to do is sort through the weeds and actually help people. What you can expect throughout this call is I'll kind of touch on three different things. First off, I want to talk about where you at when it comes to the world of wellness. Where are things currently for you? The second thing I want to know is where do you want to go, which is based around your goals. Is there anything specific that you're working towards? And then the third thing will be how do we want to get there and how do we want to get there together? You don't have to remember that. I'll talk about all of them throughout. But kind of starting it off, I would like to know where you're at with your health and wellness and kind of just in general where you're at, if you're open with sharing a little bit.
Sure. So I will start with it's complicated,
I
but
love it.
um uh I love the approach of healthy as wellness because it's little things, little steps and process that I can take to improve as I go. And I think that's really important given my history. So history was overweight for a long time and thoroughly out of shape for a long time. Um Also in my 50s, so that's fun. I'm a good
I
old
love
Gen X there. I'm currently 55. Um, and, the unique complicated part is that in the last year and a half, I've been diagnosed with and had surgery for 3 different kinds of cancer that are unrelated genetically and unrelated to each other.
Holy cow.
So I have had, kind of a massive medical journey in the last year and a half. I just had 2 weeks ago, surgery for colon cancer, which is the 3rd and hopefully final one that I'm dealing with.
Oh. Holy
Um,
moly.
and, uh, and so I'm currently, at home on leave recuperating, and I get to go back to work in 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. But I am cleared, as of now for everything except lifting anything over 15 pounds. So I'm able to get back to walking, and, I had scheduled before my surgery, a PT appointment, for consultation for PT, physical therapy, so that I could start to tone up my body again after the 2nd cancer surgery, and, and I'm meeting him, in the week of the 9th, which is the week I get to go back to work. So, I think, motion is the lotion. Movement is really important in anybody's physical health approach, and so, I'm doing my PT exercises at home now that I've been cleared by the doctor to do that, and then I'll
Love it.
rejoin with PT once I get back there with him, hopefully able to progress in PT, as of that first appointment, and then I have weekly appointments for a while. So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm um, I'm one of those people that the complexity of my health situation recently has reminded me that health isn't just about physical health, it's about mental wellness and about, spiritual wellness and about physical wellness and about the food that you put in and the chemicals that you don't or do put in your body. All that stuff is really important. It makes up the complex whole that we are as people. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm in a nutshell, Gus.
I love it. Thank you so much for being willing to share that. Jeez Louise, what a journey. My gosh,
Yes.
how do you feel right now? Like, how are you
I'm
feeling overall?
actually I'm feeling pretty good. The one thing that's challenging is that so the first cancer I had was breast cancer, and I had surgery to remove 2 different spots of that, and also had lymph nodes removed, one of which had cancer in it. That's where it gets a little complicated. So for people that aren't familiar with breast cancer, if you fight breast cancer, even if you win, like I did, where at the end they thought they removed all the cancer and then I had radiation for 20 days, and that's supposed to get any remaining cells. They can't guarantee you that there aren't breast cancer cells still floating around in your body. And the problem is those cancer cells, if they are um, left in there, are really awful because they can turn into any other kind of cancer in your body at any time. So what they do is you continue to have to treat like you're a breast cancer patient. Um, with medications, in order to stop those remaining cancer cells, if there are any, from attaching, from being fed by hormones, if they're hormone activated, which mine was, from growing, from becoming any other kind of cancer. And there are multiple medications that they use to do that. So I've just been on two different ones, one after the other. Um, and currently that both of those medicines were designed so that it can't get any hormonal growth in assistance.
Mhm.
The next two medications that they're going to give me are attacking it from other angles. So basically, meaning that it can't activate, it can't attach to anything, it can't become any other kind of cancer. And it's more complicated than that, but that's my simple understanding of it, my
No.
layperson's understanding. And so I'll start those in the next month. Um, and, um, that just makes it complicated. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm back to being a breast cancer fighter, because that's what's important. The other 2 cancers that I had were, because of the breast cancer, they were needing to go in and do a hysterectomy, and they found uterine cancer when they did that, but it was already out, so it was good. No chemo, no radiation needed, and then they recommended I have a colonoscopy, and they found colon cancer. So,
Wow.
at this point, it was just ridiculous, and I'm smiling because to me it is kind of it's like, "Whoa, okay, well, 3 third time's a charm, hopefully, we're done." Um,
What a journey.
but, the colon cancer also, no, it was removed, so a section of my colon was removed, and,
Mm.
it's a major surgery, but it went really well, my recovery has gone really well, and, I'm even feeling well now, and so you asked how I was feeling, I'm gonna say I'm feeling so much better because even I can tell, like, in my body, inflammation is down, and I'm gonna say cancer probably doesn't make your body feel healthy. And I'm guessing that your inflammation markers go up with cancer now. That's total guess based on being a patient,
Yep.
not a doctor. But I feel better than I did before.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure, for the last 6 months, I've had that uterine cancer and that colon cancer in there making me feel icky. So I'm grateful to have them both out. I'm grateful to have kind of a clean slate to, pursue being healthier from here on out.
Mhm. I love it. I appreciate everything you've shared, and I think it gives me a good picture of where you're at. I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear all of that is like, how do we allow your body to rest and recover in a meaningful way? To allow your body to get through the next phases of life. And then as you get into PT and you start to implement those things, we progress forward. But the biggest thing on my mind is like, okay, how do we get the body to be able to heal itself and react in the way that you want it to as you go through these processes? So my first question when it comes to like kind of where you want to go, you shared that a little bit, but what does nutrition look like for you right now? I'm going to go through our 4 pillars. We're going to talk nutrition, sleep, stress, and you already mentioned activity. So let's just start with nutrition. What does that look like right now?
So my nutrition has been driven for years by being a diabetic. I'm on a diabetes medication that controls my blood sugar and has my A1C down lower than it's been in years. So my last A1C was during the process of going through a surgery, not this last one, but it was 6.2. Before that, it was 5.6. And both of those, as you're aware, are really close to like being normal non-diabetic. I mean,
Yep.
5.6 is like normal non-diabetic
Yep.
um, blood sugar. So I'm good on my eating. I do well right now. I'm not allowed to have fresh vegetables, which is something I'm mourning. But it only has to be 6 weeks past this colon surgery. It's specifically because of that, and so then again. After I'm allowed, I will have fresh vegetables. For now, everything has to be cooked.
Okay.
So, but I'm still able to do my fresh fruit. So, like one of my favorite daily deals is Greek yogurt and blueberries, fresh blueberry.
Love
I
it.
love that. And we eat a lot of fish. We eat some chicken, and I don't like beef as much, so I eat very little beef. Um
Mm.
and I don't know. I mean, we're kinda normal. We do occasional well, I don't know if it were normal. We do occasional restaurant meals, but it's pretty few and far between, like,
Mhm.
maybe once a month.
Cool.
And, yeah, I don't drink caffeine because of some other issues, so I don't
Mm.
do caffeine. I do a cup of decaf coffee every day in the morning just because it's a habit and a ritual
Yep.
that feels good to keep. Um, so yeah, that's kind of eating in a nutshell. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. Currently, all the vegetables have to be cooked, but
Okay. What time are you guys done eating at night? Are you a late night snacker at all? Do you mess with fasting whatsoever, or have
no.
you ever?
I don't I have done fasting because of colon prep stuff
Mhm. Yep.
recently, and I don't have a problem doing that. But um my medicine for diabetes, the last couple of years is one that can handle low blood sugars as well as high blood sugars. It automatically regulates both. So I could fast, but I haven't really gotten into a habit of fasting. But we usually eat dinner at around 5 to 6, and then we're done for the night.
Okay.
So,
And what
yeah.
time's breakfast usually?
Right now while I'm on leave, it's closer to 8 or 8:30, but
Okay.
when I'm going to work at 8 o'clock, it's usually around 7.
Love it. Both of those are great ways. Like the big thing for us when it comes to the time restricted feeding concept to the fasting concept is trying to get a 12-hour break from your last bite of the previous day to your first bite of the following. And the reason that I bring it up with what you're going through is your body goes through a process called autophagy, which is a cellular cleanout, to where your body will actually get rid of broken down cells and generate brand spanking new ones. So
Yeah.
whatever you are trying to optimize when it comes to your health and wellness, it can be extremely beneficial to try to get that 12-hour break as often as possible. And it sounds like you're already freaking getting that, which is awesome. Whether it's a work
Yeah.
day or not a work day.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oops, I
Sweet.
lost you. I can't see you at the moment,
Oh,
just so you know.
okay. Can you see me now?
Not yet. There
Oh,
you
oh
are.
no. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Let's go sleep next. How's sleep?
Sleep is bad, and that is specifically because of a medication that's for the post-breast cancer stuff. So, it's a medication so I was on a different one before, and after about 8 months of really horrible sleep, my sleep started to resolve. So, prior to that medicine, I had 85 to 95 scores on my fitness watch every night. Consistently, I sleep with a CPAP. I've recently gone to that doctor, and he provided a new CPAP, but he said, "You're sleeping great with your CPAP." So, of course, they're pulmonologists, so they check your
Mm,
breathing. They're not checking your REM sleep and your deep sleep, which the watch actually tells you about. Um, so the medicine that I'm on before that resolved after about 8 months, I was back up to having 85s, 80s pretty consistently. But when I first started it, it went immediately down into the 30s and 40s, and that's where I rode for about 8 months. I am now on a new medicine that is because I had the hysterectomy, that's the new medicine that they had to give me. It works better at keeping breast cancer at bay, which is great, but it's gonna take a while for my body to get used to it again because it's a new medicine, and
yep.
it does the same thing to your sleep. So I'm typically in the 30s to 40s. Um, um, I think last night was a 47, so that's actually pretty good. I got a little bit of REM sleep and a little bit of deep sleep instead of 0, so I'm thankful and happy about that. And, fortunately or unfortunately, I think both, I'm able to function in those horrible sleep scores because I've been
Yeah.
doing this now for almost a year. And because the medicine I'm on is to keep breast cancer away. It's worth it. And I tried sleep medications because the doctor asked me to, and they did not work for me. And I'm not willing to incur the really horrible side effects that come along with them. So I tried the lowest dose of whatever you know, least problematic one was for a week
Mhm.
because I told her I would,
Yep.
and it didn't increase my sleep scores. So I was like, this doesn't work. And she had prescribed a stronger one with scarier side effects. And I said, I really am not interested because if this one doesn't work and this other one is just a stronger version, it's not likely to work either. And it has scary side effects. And I don't need any more of those.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing the best I can. I create a great sleep environment. I read a book, an actual book every night
Love
before
it.
bed.
Good for you. Few and far
Um,
between these days.
I set my phone, aside about an hour and a half before I go to bed. It gets silenced and turned off, and it's not charging next to my head. I'm doing all the good sleep protocol things. I have tried lots of different natural sleep things, and I don't like melatonin, so I don't do anything with that in it at the moment. But, other things like, passion flower extract and valerian root and, I've tried those kinds of things. They don't work against this medicine. So, at the
Okay.
moment, I just get myself ready, read my book, go to bed, hope for the best.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
And eventually it'll correct itself and I'll be able to sleep even with
Exactly.
this medicine. So, I've got all the good stuff in place and I'm just kind of waiting until I can get some good sleep again. And I'm always thankful for every extra minute of REM or deep sleep that I get.
Mhm. It makes total sense, and I think you have such a good relationship with it right now too. Like, I have a reason that my sleep's not good, and it's my kiddos. I have, like, 2 little babies at home, but I also
Mhm.
would not be like, "Okay, now I'm gonna take on sleep habits," when I have 2 little kids at home that you like, I literally can't sleep. Your medication is making it to where your sleep's not the best, but the
Right.
relationship that you have with it, like, you know that this is just a phase of life. You're gonna get through it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
steps, but sleep's not
Yeah.
something that we should attack right now while you're going through this.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
I mean, we've already attacked it. I've tried
Yeah.
everything and, there's a and you learn this as you go through some medical challenges. There's only so much I'm willing to endeavor. Like I'm not going to take on a huge heavy duty sleep medicine that causes huge side effects. That's just not in my game. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. That creates more problems than I currently have. So
Mhm.
I'm good. I'll write it out and I wake up and, count the things I'm thankful for each day and go,
There you
okay, this is
go.
better. This is better than a 30 score, you know?
Absolutely. Heck
So,
yeah, I love it. You got a good
yeah.
relationship with it. What does stress look like? That's our 3rd pillar.
Right now, I think stress is really good. My job is wonderful and I love it, and it's also stressful. And so when I go back to work, I will have to employ more of my de-stressing techniques than I would while I'm currently, I'm at home on leave. I mean, I literally can sit for a couple hours several times a day and read a book, or I can sit and sew. Because physically my only restriction is I can't lift more than 15
Um,
pounds. So I can take a walk whenever I want. Now, when I go back to work, I have to schedule those things into my workday. And my work is very much like yours. I spend a lot of time on video conferencing. I spend a
Mhm.
lot of time on the phone and video with people doing customer service and providing, counseling and stuff. And so, I just have to schedule my breaks and take
Mhm.
a lunch break, take a walk break, do that kind of thing so that my stress is manageable. So
Love it.
it kind of pours into the physical part of it for me,
Mhm.
which is that a good walk cures just about every stress I've got. So
Mhm. You're in such a good headspace. And then the last pillar is activity, which you mentioned a little bit about earlier. So you're
yeah,
gonna start PT here shortly, correct? Or you're already doing some PT exercises?
I'm doing PT at home. Yes, I'm
Okay.
doing ATP, home exercise program.
Hey.
So, yeah, so, which is really just basic. It's just basic movements. And the reason this PT stuff started is that I am 55 and I do have a little bit of degeneration in my back and hips. And occasionally that causes back pain that's pretty painful. And it causes the hip pain that's makes it harder to walk. And so the PT gave me some exercises to strengthen core and, so, I'm getting down on the floor and doing stretches and exercises, and I am going for walks now that I'm cleared. I had to be cleared from the surgeon before I could do
Mhm.
that. But now that I'm cleared, I can do that stuff. And so I have like the old school like paper um stapled packet of my exercises that I go, okay, what do I do next? And I flip the page and do the next exercises. So try and do those. I would like to get up to twice a day. Currently, I'm at once a day, and I would like to get up to twice a day. And I have a goal for walking. The large block in our neighborhood here at home is 1 mile, and I am not back up to that 1 mile yet. And so I do a couple little short less than half mile stints for my walks right now, but I would like to get up to the 1 mile.
Love it.
And I always have to, and I know these step loads are bad, but again, just post surgery. So, if I get 2,500 to 3,000 steps a day, I'm super
Mhm.
happy. So,
Love
and
it.
last night when I went to bed, it was over 3,000. So, that keeps my heart in good shape. It keeps I
Mm.
have a weird heartbeat that was caused by COVID or the vaccine, one of the two. The cardiologist hasn't said. He suspects both.
Okay.
He's like, it's either or. Um, but if I get 2,500 to 3,000 steps a day, my body behaves and that heart rate doesn't that heart it's bigeminal and trigeminal beats. So
Mm.
it's not dangerous cardiology wise, which is really great. I'm thankful for that. But it exhausts you if it happens too much. And so throughout this surgery process, which wasn't true of the last surgery in October, I haven't had those. And so it's because I've been able to move.
That's
From
awesome.
all the way through the process. So even in the hospital, I was up walking, the next day after surgery. So walked the day of, but actually walking laps around the hospital corridor the next day. So
That's so awesome.
yeah, so I'm big on making sure I get my steps because that really helps my heart behave and it just makes me feel better and it keeps all my muscles in shape and it helps keep inflammation down. And so yeah, that's kind of where I am
Mhm.
right now. I have specific goals of increasing my steps and also that mobility that's specific to having a back that doesn't hurt. So,
Yeah. And it sounds like you have a plan to achieve both of those things. I have 2 things that have come to my mind throughout the call that I wanna run by you that I think could
sure.
be beneficial, but from my perspective, like, what my goal is with every client I see is, does the client have a plan until I get to see him again? So if we jump on a call in a month, I know dang well that you have a plan because you got your ducks in a row and you know what you're doing. There's 2 things that came to my mind, though, that I think could be beneficial, and you might have heard of them before. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is breath, and you mentioned this a little bit already. But do you do much with breath at all right now, or do you focus on the way you breathe?
Yes, for
Yeah.
stress.
Okay.
So, like,
Perfect.
for stressful times, which of course my watch every once in a while reminds me, "Hey, you're stressed." And it's weird for me because it happens like I told you, I do this all the time for work. I do trainings at work and I am on video chat a lot. But when Zach and I were setting this up,
Mhm.
I had one of those stress alerts on my phone. I was like, "Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, take a deep breath, girl." So I do forget to breathe. So box breathing is awesome if you're having issues with the stress breathing. And sometimes it even happens to me when I'm sewing or quilting, which is so funny. I get concentrated and, I just stop breathing. I don't breathe like I should. And so I'm kind of aware of that being an issue for me. So yeah, any breathing tips you have, I'm happy to employ them because
Yeah,
it does help so much.
the one that I wanted to bring up, and it seems extremely simple, is just fixating on nasal breathing. And I would love for you to play with it before bed too. I know that it seems like bedtime has been so dang hard recently and it's difficult to get the sleep scores up. But one of the things that I've had a lot of success with clients and with myself, and this could either be a de stressing technique or a technique that you utilize when you're trying to get into restful sleep patterns. If you fixate on breathing through your nose, what your body does is it secretes a thing called nitric oxide. And you can look this up, it's pretty dang cool. But what nitric oxide does is it decreases resting heart rate, cortisol, blood pressure. So
Love
before
that.
bed, for that last hour of the day, what I would challenge you with is, okay, can you fixate on breathing through the nose? See if it makes a difference in sleep. If it does, great, frick yes. If it doesn't, you can be like, dang it, guys. And then the other thing is deploy it in those stressful situations. One of the things that I like to tell a lot of our clients here is when they get cut off by a car, instead of flipping them the bird, can you can you just hum and breathe through your nose? Because what breathing
My
through your
husband
nose
will love
does,
that for me.
yeah, what breathing through your
I don't
nose does
put
is it
people
allows
off,
the body
but
to
I do lecture
de-stress.
them in the car.
So that's one
And
thing that came to my mind
that's
is
a
the
great
nasal breathing.
idea. Hey, I saw I've watched all your podcasts. So I saw one of your podcasts. You were talking about nasal breathing, and I did start using it at that time, but I will admit I've been a little distracted. So I'm going to focus on it. I love that tip. I'm going to get back to it. And
Awesome.
I know for sure. So like in my CPAP, those are freaky machines, but they work for those
Yep.
of us that need it. But it is sometimes hard to keep your mouth closed and breathe through your nose. And so I did like for at least 2 weeks, I would every night go, "Okay, close your mouth and breathe through your nose." And then I would fall asleep breathing through my nose. So
There you go.
that's a really great tip. I will get back to that. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, play with it and see if it makes a difference. And I think that'll help with recovery as you go through this phase of life. And the other thing too that came to my mind, and this might be a next time step because I'm a big believer in like small changes, big impact. Start with one small thing. But I would love to talk too about protein intake. And you mentioned
Mhm.
that you guys are eating quite a bit. You're eating fish, but we just dropped a new protein card. And there's kind of four different steps on there. One of them dives into trying to get 20 to 30 grams of protein at your first meal of the day, trying to eat protein with every meal, or trying to eat animals that move more than you do. And you mentioned you guys eat fish a lot. But
Yeah.
as you incorporate the PT in your life and as you have this goal of being able to walk more and move more, you're already doing the movement, which the movement's going to tear those muscle fibers. But the biggest recovery and the strength building comes from being able to get that protein and make sure that you recover. So the second thing on my mind is the protein intake and making sure that you're sitting good there and feeling good about it because I know you're going to do that activity. I can tell you're determined. We got to feed that activity now and make sure you
Yeah.
rebuild from it.
That's
So,
good. You know what would help me is just sort of cheater ideas about what to eat. So like I will tell you honestly, this morning my husband made me breakfast, bless his heart. He's retired and so he helps out a lot that way. But I had a salmon burger, just the
mhm,
patty
there you
with a
go.
slice of Swiss cheese for breakfast.
Mm.
Nothing else on it. And then I had my bowl of Greek yogurt with some blueberries on it, and that was my
Awesome.
breakfast this morning, and so I know that both the Greek yogurt and the salmon and the cheese have protein in it.
Mhm.
I don't know how much. So now I'm
Yeah.
curious to go, like, look and see. It's 30, you said?
Yeah, we say 30 to 40 in that first meal if you
Okay.
can, but that is a very protein rich breakfast. Like I think your breakfast is spot on. I would
Yeah,
more
we
so
don't do
wonder
cereal and stuff anymore, so
what's the rest of the day look like for food? What are you thinking? Do you have
well,
ideas?
my my usual meal of anything starts with a meat. So
Okay, you're
we
on it.
don't do I don't love grains. I'm a diabetic, so
Mm,
before this medicine that does a really good job of kind of managing things,
mm.
and I suppose would allow me to splurge and whatever, have carbs, I got into the habit of just not eating a lot of carbs. And so I don't eat a lot of carbs these days. So it's usually a vegetable of some sort and a meat. And
Sweet.
that's kind of every meal. So
Awesome.
although today I didn't have vegetables because I had my fruit and my yogurt, so
Mhm.
for
You're on
breakfast.
it. You're on it. So on that protein card, like I think that second step is just eat protein with every meal, and I think it's a fistful size, which it sounds like you're doing with every meal. So from my perspective, between now and next time I get a chat with you, it would be keep doing what you're doing, keep kicking butt, play with the nasal breathing as much as you can, see if it makes a difference, and then the protein intake, continue to do what you're doing. Like I think you're doing a freaking awesome job.
Well, I have had good results. In the last couple years, I've lost about 45 pounds,
Wow.
and I still have more to go, but I am 55, so I know that that doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that I wanna do quickly. I would rather do it for the long haul and keep it off, and, with all the medical stuff intervening, there are things that, make that challenging sometimes, but I do feel like so the long haul part of it for me is that I've spent so many years eating a certain way to try and, manage my carbs and manage fruits and vegetables and increase fruits and vegetables and protein as a main source of food,
Mhm.
that I'm way less apt to eat a bag of candy or eat an entire
Mhm.
cake. Or, I mean, I might have a piece of cake once every 2 or 3 months, or a piece of pie at Christmas or something like that. But for me, the days of binging that stuff are gone. So,
Nice.
and things like crunchy things are sometimes hard, like chips or whatever, but I'm to the place now where, like, I could have killed off an entire bag of potato chips, 2 years ago, but
Mhm.
now I'm like, I'll put some chips in a bowl and I'll eat those and then I'm done. And
Nice.
so even again, that's why I love you guys' premise at Healthy as Wellness because it's little changes that make an impact over time. And I
Mhm.
absolutely 100% agree with that. It's just really important for us as human beings to be able to do manageable change throughout our
Mhm.
lives. And that's on all areas because if you can't manage it for a little bit, then you aren't
Mhm.
going to get that long haul benefit of it. So
Exactly.
So I'm with you on that. I mean, I love the chance to sit down with you for a bit and I can't take notes right now because I can't shake the table where this camera is, but I will write the notes down in my phone so that I have them. So I'm going to make sure I get 30 to 40 grams of protein for each meal. And I'm going to make sure that I breathe through my nose as much as possible.
Sweet. Heck yeah. I love it. I love it. Love it. Thank you very much for sharing your story too. You're doing an amazing job. Gosh dang. And you think about the trajectory, like you lost 40 some pounds. You're kicking butt. Like I'm proud of you. I know I've only mentioned once, but this is freaking awesome. You're doing an amazing
Aw,
job. So keep doing what you're doing. And it sounds
thanks.
like you're very knowledgeable too in the health and wellness field. So if you ever need a job, just fly to Billings and we'll get you health coaching.
Thanks, thanks. Well, I have a really wonderful family member who has been a health coach and who is with you all, and,
Yeah.
he's very willing to share and be helpful to me, and so, I appreciate him a whole bunch.
Love it. Love it, love it. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we can do another one of these like in a couple months or something. We'll jump back on and see how things are going. Maybe after you're starting PT or you're more into PT, I guess. We could do
Yeah,
this again.
that'd be awesome, Gus, I appreciate it, thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
Alright, have a great day.
You too.